What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Disney Plus The Fuss podcast. My name is Sean, and this is our podcast dedicated to the brand new Mandalorian series on Disney Plus streaming.
And boy, are we excited.
And boy,
That's
oh boy,
Garrett
are we excited.
right there, chiming in. I'm Brayton. We got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about.
On this program, a bit of magic. That's what the show is all about.
Garrett, what's your initial reaction of episode 1, chapter 1?
Oh my gosh, I have so many emotions and feelings about this episode. So much fun. But my reaction to this episode, it was awesome. Space cowboy. Did anyone else feel that?
The
That was
Western
just-
vibe.
The
I did,
Western
for
vibe. Right
sure.
from the beginning.
Definitely
the
got it.
saloon scene. You know, he comes breaking in and it's like, hey, boss, hey, buddy, you spilt my drink. And
right.
it was this classic. I thought they were playing poker, to be honest. Like such classic Western theme. Loved it. Even
There's-
to the middle of the episode where he's trying to train the stallion of I think it was called a barg or a borg.
Borg?
A borg.
I think a Borg.
And that was just like
That's
a
what I call it.
classic cowboy scene. And I just loved it. Even going down to the last part, the big shootout, you saw another bounty hunter, and it was just such a classic cowboy movie. And I
So
love the vibe they're
You
going
love
with.
the Cowboys in
Space
space.
Cowboy
You just
all
love
the
it.
way. Super fun. I saw the retro vibes of the older series. Lots of odes to that. I love that the makeup that they used for Jawa, the mini guy that is I have spoken.
Oh, okay.
I
His
love
name is
the makeup.
Jawa?
His name's Jawa.
Was
Joe
his name-
what?
Was his name spoken? I mean,
I had to
who
look
did-
it up to be
yeah,
honest.
Okay.
But
I was
yeah,
like,
his name's
"Ah, catch his
Jawa.
name."
Very nice guy. He is spoken. And the makeup on there is very old fashioned, very retro. Loved it. I love the mixture of like the Borg was definitely CGI, but like they've done that throughout the series of movies. And
But
it
you,
was-
thought, you thought it looked pretty good overall, though?
yeah, I liked it.
Actually,
and-
you'd like to know that I was actually all practical effects.
wow,
Yeah,
really
looked
Yeah.
really bad.
There's like,
They should have went. No, I'm just kidding. It was for sure.
nice.
I was like, that was a very disabled dog.
Yikes.
Half bulldog, half iguana. So it was nuts.
Actually, they were just able to merge a shark with a lizard and a bulldog.
And also a bulldog got in the mix. And
Yeah, just got
It looked like a
Borg.
piranha with legs. Let's be honest.
it
It
looked
did.
like a
It looked-
bullfrog T-Rex to me.
Anyway, he was writing it. Yeah.
So Garrett's initial reaction. Do you give
Super
two
great.
thumbs up
Oh
already?
man, 2 thumbs up. I'd probably give this episode honestly, and mind you, there's a lot of hype.
how many
because
pucks
the-
would you give it?
What? Oh, pucks. Old Empire
All of
pucks.
them.
Like
or
four out of 5 pucks.
What kind of pucks?
All right. Okay.
All right.
Garrett liked it. Brayton
Loved it.
I
loved
really,
it.
really liked it as well. It was very immersive. I don't think I've had I haven't felt that into what the world was since Game of Thrones,
Right.
where it felt like the space was lived in. There was it was even in the initial scene where it is more of the kind of space cowboy desert vibe where
Love
there's
it.
isolation, and that was a cool part of it too, because like in a lot of the prequels there was just these dense cities and very futuristic and all this, but this was definitely more toned back. It felt like Star Wars,
Right.
Like,
It felt like you were being like just at the beginning of Star Wars episodes where you're just being dropped right into the middle of the action. You're in the middle of this universe there's already things in motion. I definitely got that.
and it just nailed that. It just nailed that vibe where, especially with the Mandalorian, it felt very Han Solo-y. Like
Like the movie?
No,
Han
like
Solo,
it-
the character?
no.
Too soon.
That's
Yeah, sorry guys.
the character, because for me the original Star Wars was carried by Han Solo for me personally.
Like
just
the gunslinger vibe, kind of.
Yeah,
Just like
exactly. And the
The
mystery of the
alpha
character.
guy that is just like this mysterious like gunslinger.
yeah, he
kind of vibe
he
for
didn't
sure.
he didn't have the force. He was kind of what we as the audience would have been along with the ride, but had
Damn right,
just
I'd be a
that
bounty hunter.
just that swagger along with it. And the Mandalorian had, like he obviously when he sits down anywhere, they're like, oh shoot, this is the dude.
Yeah.
and you get that right away.
Yeah, he's got that reputation. That they established that character really well, I think.
Absolutely.
Just from the very beginning.
And it's cool to see Disney because the newer movies that we've seen through the past 5 years since Force Awakens, they've had about 2.5 hours to create a character, and they've had to like create a story and make it seem like likable and livable. Whereas this is a totally different way because they actually have episodes. They can create a character slowly. They can give us mystery. They can leave us wanting for more. And I think that's where you get that Han Solo vibe, is because it's like Mandalorian's mysterious. He's cool. He doesn't say much, and it's something that makes you want to watch more. And they can do more with an episode. They can 8 episodes, right, Sean?
Right, 8 episodes.
So
Dang,
we've got
only 8.
a
Wow.
lot of episodes to create a character, and this is only the first season. That I'm assuming they're going to do a whole bunch more seasons if this takes off. And I feel
They're
like
already
that-
filming season 2. Did you know that?
No idea.
Yeah.
They're also doing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
But isn't that awesome that they are able to actually create characters and do it the slow way, kind of like a book would?
I do appreciate the direction and the tone that they're already kind of like establishing, especially compared to the last Star Wars movies you're saying. Because like going into this, I think everybody was afraid because the last movie got so many mixed reviews, and this being the very first
Quite
live action
divisive.
series. Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were maybe not concerned, but they were definitely like, oh geez, like are they going to ruin this idea too? But because it has a lot of potential. But no, I like what they're doing for sure so far.
And it's crazy that Favreau was the one who came up with it, wrote it.
Right.
Well, this
He's
isn't
doing
his
right.
first experience in the Star Wars realm. He's done voices for the Rebels and Clone Wars.
Right, but you don't think of him as the creative being of writing a Star Wars thing. And actually, I was actually surprised that he didn't direct the episode. I thought that would have been like a shoe in.
Yeah, Favreau, do more.
Yeah.
He's just producing it, but I think it's off to a great start.
Your life together.
Right. All right. So
Favy.
my first thoughts that stood out to me the most was actually the script, I think.
Really?
Because your main character is like kind of what you're talking about, this like mysterious like rogue gunslinger guy. He doesn't say a lot, like just like Boba Fett in the OG in Empire.
I can take you cold, or I can take you hot.
in warm, or I can take you in cold. Like he's a man of little words, but the things that he does say
That
hold
was what he
so
said.
much weight. Yeah, it's okay. I
not
got you.
cold and then hot.
Cold and
I'd
hot.
like to take you in hot. I got the heater going if you want.
Right. Anyway, yeah, like the really cool character lines were just like, oh my gosh, like Mandalorian is such a cool character that like already grabbed my attention. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
about.
within it was about 37 minutes of what the episode actually, like the time of the episode is. It's like 37 minutes. So
Right,
you
it's
don't
not
even get a
long.
full hour. And within that, we have probably 4 times as many quotable lines.
Right. Oh, one of my favorites was whenever he goes in to see the I don't even know his name, the guy that is offering him the bounty that has the stormtroopers in the room.
Oh,
the private
LeVar
room.
Burton's dad.
Right.
Wait, no. We're talking about the actual
that was
Empire
cool.
guy.
Yeah.
He
doesn't have a
Honesworth.
What- how about Garrett can look that up actually right now while I'm
I
gonna
can't remember
explain
what
this.
his name is,
I'll
but
look it up.
he
He's
talks
great.
like this.
Brief Karga sent you. I don't know. It's not as much like he's like Swedish almost or something. But
We talk. He talk.
anyway, Garrett's gonna look that up. But one of my favorite
It's like a
quotes
really
were
well-known
whenever
actor.
he's like he goes in and the other guy comes in, like the doctor guy, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
draws his blaster and his rifle, and
We
then the
got him.
stormtroopers, and he's like, hey, put your blasters down. And he's like, no, and then they're like, we got you like 4-1, and he's like, I like those odds. I'm just like,
yes,
yeah, I
son.
like
see
those
that again. That's something that reminded me a lot of Solo.
right.
And Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. What's up?
A shout out.
yeah.
Shout out. I was ode to the
Werner
Western
Herzog.
theme.
Werner
Really
Herzog.
good.
That's
Yes,
his name.
that's
Werner
that's the
Herzog.
actor's
Werner
name.
He's called
Herzog.
the client.
The
in
client. Yeah,
this.
just the client. Yeah.
Just
just
the
known as the
client.
Yeah. So definitely the dialogue is really, really strong compared to even compared to the prequels, because George Lucas wrote those scripts. Not the strongest of dialogue, you know, but already like the script.
Really
it's
good.
got my attention, and I really like what they're doing with this character, because he's not like a total rogue, because he's kind of like making friends along the way already on the first episode. So he's likable enough, but he's not revealing too much of himself. And I'm really excited about the backstory we're going to get into and what they're setting that up for.
For sure.
Absolutely. And the robot, the droid, the bounty droid.
Oh,
What's your thoughts on
IG-11?
it?
The IG-11.
Oh, man,
IG-11.
I hope he comes back. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. I'm pretty sure they will.
Repair him, fix him, or download him into a different one. That was really, really legit. And actually, so that was kind of like the Star Wars humor that, well, again, was familiar, but different.
It felt like Star Wars, right?
It felt like the original kind of style of it. And not to say that there hasn't been moments of that in the movies, but it just really, really stood out in this particular, especially in that particular moment.
For a first episode, I thought it was for sure.
Yeah,
strong
Taika
start.
Waititi nailing it, knocking that out of the park, just being that such a good voice actor.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he actually did the physical part of it too, but I can't remember.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the flashback scene. He's getting his shoulder armor made, and he's flashing back to when he was a kid. What are your thoughts? What do you think his backstory is? Obviously, his family.
Well, first off, the Mandalorian
tribe.
Yeah, tribe. That was legit.
It was cool.
Oh,
Like-
it's like yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
so
she got
heart-
a cool
like
fur outfit. She was badass.
Yeah,
Like, who
harkening
is she?
back
I
to
don't
like
know.
Viking.
She had like
Spartan.
she had a Corinthian helmet.
Like-
It's like very similar to the Spartan helmet.
Just
yeah.
warriors.
Just
Oh,
yeah,
she looked cool.
just like they did a really good job with the costume design. I think already taking something like Boba Fett because it's Mandalorian armor, but then
Absolutely.
like it making the different characters that we saw that were the Mandalorians individual characters, and then the blacksmith, her helmet. It just is establishing like these people have been around for a long time. Like already, like just the establishing shot. Like these people have been around for a long time. You don't mess with them.
Yeah,
and
cutthroat.
they're fighters. You know.
Yeah,
I'd wear
like
it to
so
work
cool.
for show.
Yeah. No, it kind of makes sense that like we may find out a little bit more about his backstory and why he hates droids
we
so
better.
much.
Okay.
But just making that connection, like he didn't want to have anything to do with droids. His parents might have been killed by them, but he is willing to work with one ish.
Right.
But he killed him right away. So there's
So I think the flashbacks with him as a kid, I think it had the same thing as the Purge that they talked about, where they had the Beskar steel, which is like apparently like super valuable,
quality.
Yeah, like the gold of that universe, you know. And she said, "Oh, this was gathered in like the Purge or whatever." I think I don't know if it was on the same planet like Mandalore where they're from, if they're gonna do it like that, but I think the flashback where him as a kid like being like separated, him like trying to reach for his parents or something, you know. I think the Empire went in and like raided that planet or those people, like, you know, took all of their stuff, took all their steel, like took kids, probably like put them in to be like stormtroopers and stuff. Like we're definitely going to get a little bit more of that backstory, I hope.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And she says this will help a lot of families. And so
Yeah.
so
Like
there
it's
is
like an
still-
honor thing too, because
Yeah.
because even the client was like, it's good that like this is Beskar steel, like
Yeah.
it should be going back to like the Mandalore people. It belongs to your people, you know.
Yeah.
So that part was really cool.
Yeah.
Because there's that like code of honor that they have, even though he's like still a bounty hunter. Like inside of those bounty hunters, there's like Mandalorians and stuff, and they have like a super deep code of of that.
And right off the first episode, this is great. You know, I want an episode that's gonna make me like asking questions. Like, okay, I want to know more about the Mandalorians. You know what I mean? My next question for you guys is, what are your thoughts on I believe it's Dr. Pershing, that doctor that was during
The guy that busted in.
He busted in. You know, he was very caring. I feel like he's gonna be a character because he's like bounty hunters. You know, you have to do what you have to do, and if you have to kill him, and he's like, whoa, no, we didn't talk about killing.
Right. So they want yeah, we already said spoilers.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Did
In
we?
the beginning,
If
did.
not,
Hey guys, sorry.
I'll put it in the description.
Retroactive spoiler warning. There
That's
you go,
right.
guys. I fixed it.
Well,
But
I'll
Dr. Pershing, his name is.
Okay, so Dr. Pershing, they For whatever reason, they want the baby Yoda creature.
Alive.
They want it. Well, he wants it dead or alive, but the doctor wants it alive. Mm-hmm. We don't know what for, but he seems to have not necessarily like bad or selfish intentions. You know, I don't know yet. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on the doctor.
I don't know if those characters are going to actually be in it any more than they currently are.
I don't know though.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
They could, because he could just be a client, like a one-off. He got his stuff, and now he's not going to bring the Baby Yoda back to him.
But
like it could. It was one scene, so
right.
We're depending on how this turns out, because it may be a little bit more episodic, where we're just following him on various
adventures, like
adventures
episode by episode
doing,
base, you know.
So I think Werner Herzog could be potentially if Werner Herzog is in it more,
The client,
the client is in it more, then yes, the doctor will be in as well. But I don't think we have anything to indicate that the doctor's going to play a bigger part yet.
Of a bigger story.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, they left this with a cliffhanger, obviously, so they're not. I don't think they're going to be doing random adventures of the Mandalorian. I think this is going to be one big long story.
You think it's just going to be one big long story of him protecting the baby now?
No, I think that's going to go entailed. It's going to grow. I hope it grows. But I don't think it's going to be a random.
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think it will be a little bit more episodic, where he's going to have his like main adventure, whatever mission he's trying to accomplish per episode. You know, maybe he's collecting a bounty on like a certain person, you know. Yeah. But then at the same time, I think throughout they'll probably introduce a secondary storyline.
Like
with another character.
It almost has to be. It can only go one or two ways. Either he kind of completes it, and this is kind of a secondary storyline, as he kind of goes on his bounty hunts, or he refuses to kind of fulfill his contract, and then gets chased.
Gotcha.
So now he's running away. But the Empire isn't what it used to be, so it's kind of like
it's only
if he's as good as the first episode makes it, so why would he really be fearful?
Right. I've got a question for you guys. So this show is picking up only 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like 25 years or something.
Yeah, me too.
It's pretty much like right after. So those stormtroopers that we saw, like, I don't know if they're like holding out. They think that the Empire's still around or whatever. But I want to know what you guys think as far as how big of a role is the Empire going to play as like the bad guy, or are we going to see hints of like the new order rising, you know, and then the beginning of like the rebellion, the true rebellion?
I don't know. I think it might be more of the if we're going off of this as more of a Western style vibe, then I think it's gonna be more about him interacting with new species, new villains, new characters, and then the Empire's kind of
secondary.
Yeah, secondary, kind of along, kind of that through line.
True, kind of like those Clint Eastwood like spaghetti westerns and stuff, where you'll have like the military, like in Civil War times, like 1800s, like in a lot of those movies, like the armies are around, you know, but it doesn't really focus on that. They just like happen to be there.
Right.
I would actually really like that connection for sure, where they're there and they do have power, but they don't dictate the adventures that our characters go on. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, and you also have to think about just the filming of the show itself. You know, they're trying to keep that nostalgic feeling of the original series. I mean, when he comes to the door and the little ball comes out, you know, and then spits back out, like nostalgic things are like, oh, nice, that's just like the original series.
Did you appreciate those?
I do.
Those kind of throwbacks.
So I think
I did too.
It didn't seem like too forced. Like
exactly.
It didn't seem forced.
Oh, you mean it wasn't as bad as that hunk of junk ship isn't? We're not going to take that.
The Millennium Falcon.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, I did like that part. That was kind of fun. Anyhow. Do you think that the Baby Yoda is an ancestor of
or related
Yoda?
To
or
before we go deep into that, were you guys shocked when it was a Baby Yoda? I was like, what?
I was like, a baby Yoda. Because it was 50-year-old. Yeah, I thought it was going to be some general that the Empire was trying to like track down and kill that like betrayed them or something, you know?
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to be a child.
A 50-year-old child.
Oh, really? A 50-year-old guy? You had a feeling it was going to be a child?
He did.
I hope he has.
He called me. He said, I just paused the Mandalorian
Okay.
and they said there's a bounty off for a
Listen,
50-year-old. Is it like a baby Yoda?
Listen, as soon as
I'm pretty sure it's the baby Yoda.
as soon as they walked in the room and saw the cradle.
Please write a review on how BS
The egg
that
sphere.
is.
Yeah. It's like, so that's practically the beginning of the episode, if I remember.
Yeah.
Good. Dude,
Oh,
Brayton, you're smart.
All I'm saying
You're a
is,
smart brain.
I called it.
Okay.
I
only
wasn't
have-
like,
I saw it coming as soon as I saw the 3 green fingers come up. I was like, oh my God.
that's a
I
baby.
was like, I was like, babe, it's a baby Yoda. And then she's like, dude, I'm sleeping. Like, let me go back to bed.
Yeah.
I only have his
Could you
age.
play-
What's
could-
his age? 50. Oh, he's got to be a baby. He's got to be a Yoda baby.
Yeah, they could have let him know. Okay, I've got a question. So when the client, they sent him out, obviously they knew what client they wanted him to kill or bring in as like, you know, his bounty.
Yeah.
Did they know that it was a 50-year-old like little baby, or did
Right.
because like what's the value in a little baby like that, you know, unless he's like somehow distantly related to Yoda or has like a midichlorian count if they want to incorporate that in this universe. But he's got like force capabilities, you know, like they want to shut that down because that's basically what ruined the Empire in the first place was Luke Skywalker.
Well, I saw another YouTube video that was talking about the Yoda baby, and apparently 50 years prior to that was when Anakin was born. So if you're going off of kind of the prophecies of the one,
And 50 years ago,
Anakin
Yoda
may
had a
not be the
girlfriend.
What? But he brought balance to the force. He did.
did he?
He killed the Empire. Well, he helped his father gain his
He
redemption.
just had to
and he
slaughter
killed
some babies to get
Palpatine.
there.
Well, okay, we also have to say if you're listening to this after The Rise of Skywalker comes out, like we don't know what they're going to do with that Palpatine
is true.
character. So,
Who
But we'll
knows?
probably talk about it.
50 years though. No, that would I don't like
don't
that
know.
idea.
I don't
want it. I like that it's its own show.
That's fun.
It's its own story. It's like in a different time that we haven't been in before really. Let's not drag in like stuff from the past
Did
too
you
soon.
say dragon?
Don't
What?
drag in. Speaking of
Dragons.
dragons, dude, can we talk more about those grog things?
Oh yeah. I want one.
Yeah. I went on Amazon and they're out of stock right now. But
Actually, there's the permitting process for one of those things.
Not worth it?
Out of your mind.
oh man,
Yeah.
the vet bills, all the shots, not worth it.
Yeah, you got to go in there every 2 months.
And you got to get a kettle trained. Did I say kettle trained? I'm hungry.
You did.
I said kettle trained. Really trained
You got to train it with a kettle.
to make yourself a spot of tea.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
It's
With those
what-
little arms?
Would you rather just ride on it or be able to like have a fresh brewed pot of tea
to
and then ride on
domesticate a Borg like that?
Is it a Borg?
Is it a Borg or is it a Bosch?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments. That
Wait, man. Yeah. What
I
is
have
this thing?
spoken. It's a Borg.
It's a Borg.
All right.
Really great.
So let's talk
episode.
about what we, not necessarily what we're confused about, but maybe something that you didn't like. What did you not enjoy about it?
So the bounty he picked up, the blue guy. He kind of bugged. You know, I don't know if he was just supposed to be like light and like kind of funny, but he kind of was just like, no, you're just.
But I think that they wanted that aspect because it's like this guy's annoying, and he's just like, dude, I'm taking you in warm, but he's like, forget it, I'm just gonna put you in the carbonite. And yeah,
That was
he's
the cool part.
You're annoying, dude. Yeah.
he was
Also,
annoying.
I think that was the first toilet that we've
Yes.
ever seen in Star Wars, right?
It is true.
Yeah. Let the record show that
that was pretty cool.
he's gonna evacuate his thorax or whatever they were calling it.
That was a super pooper. It was awesome.
Yeah. So
Do you have a ShamWow down here? I really did a number on this.
okay,
thing.
I've got something that I know that you guys are gonna feel similar to me. So whenever he is on that frozen water planet or whatever at the beginning, and he's like, I need passage back to the docks or whatever he called it, and then there's that thing and he pulls out a little flute and he's like,
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Yes.
I loved it.
Get it, Kenny.
Is that because you own a penny whistle?
Shut up. Shut up, Sean.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's lame as heck.
I'm surprised Brayton go, I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to flute that. Oh, really, Brayton? You knew he was going to
It's like
flute?
this guy's mouth would be perfect for a flute of some kind. Clarinet, maybe small clarinet,
Like
space
an
clarinet.
anteater playing a flute.
I was just like, so he did that, and then a speeder, like a land speeder, comes up. I'm like, I don't think that technology works. I know. He pushes the button, and it's just unrelated. He's
The
just like,
Mandalorian-
by the way, I have a recital to practice.
the Mandalorian's like, great. Can you call me a cab now?
And he's like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's like, "Dude, they're coming every 10 minutes. I've got to practice my flute."
Yeah, this doesn't do anything. I'm just practicing.
Yeah, exactly.
No droids. How about my CD? $5?
It's like,
like,
yeah,
one
the
of those
Mandalorian's just trying to have a conversation with him. He's just like, "Dude, you don't understand my language."
He does that. He does that kind of thing. Hey, dude, do you mind holding my CD real quick? Thank you.
Oh, that'll be $5.
Yeah. Got him.
Got him. Yeah. So that was something that I wasn't super stoked on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a weird spot, but
But it didn't ruin it. It didn't really ruin the
Don't
scene.
ruin it.
Did you guys like the walrus whale?
I
was
did like that. That was a cool.
cool.
That was a cool design.
creature.
The thing that I didn't care for necessarily, and this isn't necessarily a detractor, was the soundtrack.
Oh.
It did not feel as Star Wars to me.
Right. Now, is that something I imagine that the show creators, the showrunners, intentionally did, that they did not want it to do that? They wanted it to have its own thing.
Yeah.
To me, it felt super minimal.
Yeah.
And I think that they're trying to complement that with like certain themes, that they'll have character themes and stuff throughout a show. That this character is very quiet. He's a man of not a lot of words, Mandalorian doesn't, but the music that they had while he was around was also super minimal.
Yeah.
Like not really catchy at all. Like not like the John Williams, like traditional Star Wars stuff. Garrett, what are your thoughts on that?
I love the soundtrack because it goes into the space cowboy theme of it. He's a lone cowboy. And so having the most minimal of sound shows that he is a man of a few words.
Okay.
It shows that
You got that? You kind of got that vibe?
Oh, I got that vibe, and it was that stripped down, like, you don't mess with this guy. It had this like mystery, spooky-ish sound of like, who is this guy? And I loved it because it kind of brought you along on a ride of like, who is the Mandalorian and why is he such a loner that just kicks butt? You know what I mean? And so I think it actually complemented it and kind of went into that Western theme of the episode.
It left me wanting more.
Which is
agree.
good.
I agree with what you said.
The
but
music left you wanting more?
yes, like the soundtrack. Like I like what they're going, like the minimal, like semi like space western thing. But I want it just like I just want a little bit more because I really like.
Oh, so you
soundtracks and
agree
stuff,
with me that there should have been more instruments?
Not. I guess I'm saying not to the extent. More instruments, more than just the the one weird
The pan
like,
flute.
the pan flute and keyboard.
Well, I think I'm also okay with it because on a broader, like, there's going to be a lot more other episodes that are in the Star Wars realm. You're going to have the space orchestras that you guys want.
Probably not.
So
I'm not
Probably not.
asking for a space orchestra. I'm just asking for something a little bit more complete, I guess.
Fine.
But
I'll
it's
bring my
just-
keyboard
but-
for the next episode, and I'll play you a tune during the episode.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
anyways.
But I mean, I'm not saying that it's really bad or something that I dislike about it because it's just the first episode. Technically, this is kind of like a pilot. I'm sure that they made this
for
and
sure.
they showed it to the Disney execs and they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure, you guys are greenlit for a first season." So
Yeah.
it's just like the very first thing. It's really hard to judge the scope of the whole first season of a show that you've never seen before.
As far as a show and what a pilot should do, it did exactly that. It made you understand the world that I was in, the character that the kind of the pieces of everything that's and
Right.
and kind of just introduce what is happening, who's it happening to, and will you see the next episode and all those things.
Right. Exactly. It left the audience asking questions. It left them with open-ended stuff that you want answered for the next one. I think it's setting it up for the next thing. And yeah, they did a really good job, and I can't wait to watch it tomorrow.
Absolutely. So with that being said, A, B, or C rating, what would you give episode 1?
Wait, straight letter ratings? Are we doing pluses, minuses?
Pluses and minuses, my friend.
You know what?
I'd give it a 4 puck out of 5.
Four
four
pucks.
That would be an A minus.
Ooh,
A minus for you.
Okay. It's a compliment.
How about you go next?
So honestly, because, and I'm taking in not just the show itself, but just my excitement for the show, which could have been a make it or break it for this rating. I think that it lived up to the hype. So I'm going to give it a solid A. I enjoyed it. I left very happy, and I am excited for episode 2. And like we talked about finding something to not like. There wasn't much that I didn't like because I think I enjoyed the entire way they're going with this space cowboy vibe.
Okay.
And so I give it a solid A. It wasn't an A plus for me because there's some things where it's like, okay, it's only the pilot. I don't want to give it, right out of the gate. We've got 8 episodes. And we're going to be rating every episode. And so I don't want to give it an A plus, but
Okay.
I do think it's pretty high. I think it's in the 90s.
It does leave a little to be desired. I guess I'm the pessimist. I'm gonna give it a B plus. Ooh. And I think that's what it deserves because I'm trying to not get hyped too soon. Kind of what you're saying. Like I'm gonna, I'm sold on it. I think it's gonna be solid, but it wasn't quite an A for me yet. It was kind of shorter for an episode.
And it was, now I'm thinking about it, it was a very simple.
Right. It was very straightforward.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a bad
Not
thing.
necessarily a bad thing.
But I did enjoy it, and that's why I give it a B plus and not like a B or a B
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah.
So what were the things that you give it a B plus for? Like why? So you say you're pessimistic, and we kind of talked
Compared
about
to
the
your
soundtrack.
guys'.
I think-
So was it really just the simplicity of the story that gives you that lower?
Well, I think we
rating?
already talked about
it's
kind
a
of
good.
the
It's not a
reasons why
low
it would
rating.
be
It's just
that.
low compared
Yeah.
to your guys's.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was just under mine.
Right.
An A minus.
Okay. So.
Still an A, buddy.
Okay.
I would still
guess
tell
so,
my
yeah.
parents I got an A. A minus, but it's still an A.
What's the letter?
Still
say?
going on the fridge. B plus. May not make
The
it there.
reasons that I didn't give it an A or like anything higher than a B plus, I guess. The first thing is like, not the most important thing. The first thing that comes to mind is the musical score.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves me wanting,
That's enough.
wanting more.
That's enough.
That's one thing.
to make that.
The stuff at the beginning was kind of like super predictable. You know what I mean? Like the gunslinger goes into
Almost
the saloon.
cliche.
The gunslinger gets everybody. Oh, by the way, really quick, actually, one of the things that I thought was super cool when he shot his little like grappling line
was
at the guy,
awesome.
was dragging him in and stops him, and then the gate like closes at the front. Oh, and then it just. I was just like, oh, dude, this is cool.
You know
Good
the
job,
best part
Disney.
about that?
It's a children's show.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Dude was running away. It's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
Yeah, so that was super cool.
That
but
was the super cool part.
But it was like straightforward.
Little too straight for you, eh?
It is a new universe, but the overall story is not very original yet. And that's not a bad thing though, because there's only so many different like storylines that you can really like write. It's just the characters and the universe that you place them in.
Do you think we're going to encounter some Force users or a Jedi?
I'm worried. I really I hope that they leave that like to the minimum if they feel like they really need to bring that in. If it helps the story for some reason, that's fine. In the first
Doesn't
season,
have to.
I will be super happy if
They
there's
don't need to.
They
I
don't.
think they will, though. To be honest, I think they will.
They have to eventually because it's Star Wars still.
exactly.
Okay, so my question to you guys, this is what I'm most excited for, okay? Because they know Kenobi is going to be made, and Kenobi is going to be around the same time. It's before A New Hope, right?
Right.
Do you think that there's going to be some kind of flashback with the Mandalorian or something where they're going to have this show overlap
Collab.
with Kenobi? Some kind of collaboration at some point.
I hope so. You
I
can only
hope not.
hope.
I hope not.
You hope not?
No.
Why?
Disney's all about the
They're-
universe and combining things.
They were the
Because-
first ones. Avengers. They did it first.
Because the
Oh,
Defenders
Marvel was, then they bought them because they're smart.
because the Defenders
first.
show the crossover parts of it. I did not like the Defenders the show, which is basically what when they all come together. But I didn't mind the semi crossovers in each of their own individual shows.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I guess I wouldn't mind like a crossover, but I would probably prefer it not to be all this one like thing.
Gotcha.
Like it can be its own.
I think that they're going to be able to do it because it's going to be easier to do it. We're not, they're high budget series, but they're not going to major motion films, and so a lot of this filming is going to probably be in the same area.
Okay.
And so I think it's going to be easier to collab and get the different characters in the same world, in the same shows. So I think they're going to go, why not go for it? It's a treat. It's going to make my viewing experience more fun. So I say go for it.
Cool. Okay. I will be fine if they don't do it. I'll be excited if they do it. That'll be fine. All right. Any predictions for
so Disney? You do you,
you
baby.
do you, and I'll be happy either way. I already paid for the whole year, so
I got the next 3.
you did that sign up.
Yeah, I did that promo.
Wow. Oof.
I got a little girl.
That's brave. Yeah.
I gotta show her some Disney movies.
You got to show her some quality TV. All right. So, where do you guys think this is going for the next episode? Are we gonna
Predictions for the next
quick
episode.
predictions and then we'll sign out? Yeah.
So I predict that episode 2 is going to be very similar to Logan, the movie. I'm just kidding. It's not
It's just like it gets super dark.
that would be crazy.
50 years later, Yoda.
No.
I think he's gonna bring the baby in because he needs money. Times are hard. Like,
That'd be
they said
super. That'd be super funny. Is he brings the baby in, the client kills the baby immediately, pays him, and we're like, okay, the baby meant nothing.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's going to go along lines with similar to. So Logan is actually considered a spaghetti western of sorts. Like it's actually in the western genre.
They think
because it's like.
oh, so a spaghetti western is actually a different thing than a regular western.
Thank you for correcting me. And viewers,
And
correct
I'm
me
pretty
as
sure
well.
you know that. I just didn't want them to think that we didn't know that.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
know better, you guys. We're just really tired.
The only thing we don't know about is actual Star Wars.
That's right.
Yeah, true that.
Oh man,
but
Star
just like-
Tours. Oh man, I love that episode.
Yeah, but no one listens to actual Western podcasts.
Actually, can I go back and say that? Wait, was that on this episode? My favorite Star Wars ride is probably Star Tours. All right,
Star Tour is really great. I love that. But I think my prediction is that they're going to kind of keep going with this Western vibe of like,
Oh,
now
that's-
he has
that's
to
a thing,
protect a baby. It's going to become more chasey through adventures. So I think that there's going to be a development probably of the client saying, yo, why haven't you brought my bounty? And he's going to be like, you know what? I don't want to give you your
So
bounty.
in that way, where it's like Logan, where it's kind of like a
Exactly.
long, drawn out chase.
Yep.
Oh, actually, dude, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
That'd actually be super cool if they did something similar to that. I'm totally fine with that. The
That's my
baby would
prediction.
kind of be a downer, but it wouldn't ruin anything.
Yeah.
It kind of gives them a reason to like fight instead of just carrying on being a bounty hunter, which could get repetitive and old.
I find that'd be a
see.
high likelihood because the whole bounty hunter it's a little anti-hero-y, and I think they're gonna make him be a hero.
Yeah,
and usually
exactly,
that's how you
because
force them into it.
I think more than trying to be a thug or like the best killer out there, I think he's trying to find like redemption for his people.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to like stick to his code.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Sounds great, guys. We're really excited for the next episode that's coming out. Anybody have any last minute thoughts? Nothing else? Sweet.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this very first episode of The Mandalorian, breaking down Chapter 1. Go ahead. Feel free to subscribe. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah, dude. We're on YouTube.
Rate and review on iTunes or
on
Spotify
iTunes,
or
Spotify.
all those. It really helps us.
Automatic.
Really helps us out.
We're out there. So, yeah, we're just getting started. So get
Hope to
ready.
hear from you soon.
We can bring you in warm or cold or whatever temperature you want. Just leave us a good rating. How about that?
There you go.
That's right.
All right. See you guys next week.